What is going on, guys? JD from New York here, and Monday Night Raw last night from Brooklyn, New York, at the Barclays Center, the home of the Brooklyn Nets. 3 or 4 train stops away from where I work. I could have went to the show, but opted not to. Unbelievable show. Unbelievable show. I don't remember a Monday Night Raw that flowed so well in the 3-hour format than last night's show. Everything worked for the WWE last night, except for maybe 1 or 2 segments, which I will talk about. But last night's show was amazing for a Monday night show following a pay-per-view. That is the way you make a Monday Night Raw happen following a pay-per-view. And Money in the Bank is probably the second best pay-per-view of the year. I'm hoping SummerSlam can be number 1. But the last 2 pay-per-views, WWE has nailed it. Payback was great. Money in the Bank was great, except for a few things here and there I did not like. And after last night, SummerSlam is shaping up to be a cannot-miss show. Now, last night, the SummerSlam build was in full effect last night. I'm going to start off with the best segment of the night. Brock Lesnar, Paul Heyman, and CM Punk officially began this feud last night. Now, we seen Brock Lesnar F5 CM Punk several weeks ago. Last night was the official kickoff to their match at SummerSlam. The segment with Paul Heyman. Now, I say this all the time. Paul Heyman on the microphone, you do nothing but drop everything you're doing and you listen to this man speak. That's it. That's it. The man is gold. He sells an angle like nobody else. Like nobody else. You're hanging on to every word he's saying. Now, for the most part, Paul Heyman said that CM Punk and Paul Heyman together were the best tandem, the best duo in the WWE for the last 2 years. Pretty much that's exactly what he was trying to prove to CM Punk in the ring last night. Like, Paul Heyman and CM Punk were the WWE Champion 434 days. Paul Heyman and CM Punk almost came within an eyelash of beating The Undertaker at WrestleMania. Everything that CM Punk did, Paul Heyman was involved. CM Punk should be grateful for what Paul Heyman did for him. CM Punk was a Paul Heyman guy. CM Punk was that one guy that the WWE wanted to get rid of. They had no direction for CM Punk. But out of the kindness of his heart, Paul Heyman gave him a shot, taught him everything he knows. And now Punk, look at him. Punk is one of the best wrestlers in the world. One of the best WWE Championship reigns of all time. Now, Punk said that he's going to do whatever it takes to get to Paul Heyman. He will burn bridges down. He doesn't care who's in his way. He doesn't care if Brock Lesnar's in his way. At the end of it all, CM Punk is going to get his hands on Paul Heyman. And that CM Punk swears on Paul Heyman's children. He will do whatever it takes to get his hands on Paul Heyman. Punk also said that Paul Heyman knows when CM Punk is telling the truth and when he's lying. And he asked Paul Heyman last night, Paul, am I lying when I say I'm going to get my hands on you? You know me better than anybody. All of a sudden, Paul Heyman kneels down, CM Punk style, looks at his watch, mimics the phrase, it's clobbering time, and out comes Brock Lesnar to back Paul Heyman and the threats that CM Punk made against Paul Heyman. Brock Lesnar completely destroyed CM Punk. Completely destroyed CM Punk. F5 onto the table. Fucking picked him up and slammed his back, spine first, into the ring post. Throwing him all over the place. Punk got in a few shots, but it was really no match for Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar just completely destroyed him. There's no way Brock Lesnar is going to let CM Punk talk to Paul Heyman that way. The reason why Paul Heyman said that he's siding with Brock Lesnar is because he knows CM Punk cannot beat Brock Lesnar. Those were the words that Paul Heyman uttered last night. This kicked off their feud. Now, WWE.com is saying that CM Punk is injured. It is all part of a storyline. Do not believe what you see on another YouTuber's page. Do not believe what you read on the dirt sheets and the websites. CM Punk is not hurt. He is fine. He's completely healthy. They are just playing up the storyline that happened last night to conclude that segment on Monday Night Raw. But we can all but assure that CM Punk will be fighting Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam in Los Angeles. Book it. It's going to happen. The other thing that I've been lobbying for last night happened. How we got there, I was not a fan of, and it definitely was one of the things that I did not like about the show. The beginning of the show started off with John Cena and Brad Maddox in the ring. Now, the way you pick a number one contender after John Cena beat Mark Henry last night, I don't understand WWE's logic. You should have a number one contender already lined up. You don't need to put it in the hands of the champion to pick his next opponent for the second biggest pay-per-view of the year. That doesn't make any sense, and it makes the WWE Championship look weak. Now, John Cena's holding it, so by default, it's not weak. John Cena's going to bring prestige to that title wherever he goes. But the way you choose an opponent is not how you go about it last night. You don't leave it to the champion to choose who he wants to fight. If I was John Cena, I'd fight the Brooklyn Brawler at SummerSlam. I'll take the easy way out. I'd fight Hornswoggle at SummerSlam. Take the easy way out. So, obviously, we know the WWE wasn't going to go that route, but it just doesn't give the whole storyline and the whole point a sense of realism. It just doesn't do that. So, I really didn't like that. I didn't like the fact that Fandango came out either. That segment didn't make any sense to me. And that's what brought that whole segment down. The part with John Cena was fine. The part with Randy Orton coming out is fine. But there's no reason to have Fandango interfere there. It just didn't make any sense. He has nothing to do with both individuals. And it was just a lame way to set up the opening match. But in the end result, the opening match was fantastic. Fandango and Randy Orton had a fucking hell of a match. One of the few matches last night that were actually eye-opening. These are the kind of matches that should be happening on Monday Night Raw. Randy Orton won. Very, very good crowd all night in Brooklyn. You knew to expect that. They were going crazy for Fandango, doing the dance, singing along to his theme music. And, Orton got the RKO, nails it for the win. Great match. The only thing I didn't like about the first hour or two and that match was that there was too many commercial breaks. Too many commercial breaks during that match. But Fandango's an excellent wrestler. Excellent wrestler. I'm not completely high on the gimmick because it's too much theatrics, but, geez, that man can wrestle. Randy Orton and him work very well together. Great match, about 20 minutes to start off the show. That's the kind of stuff I've been talking about in the prior weeks on this review, every week. Those are the kind of matches you got to start off Monday Night Raw with. Get the crowd invested. Great match between the two. Randy Orton gets the win. Now, the other angle that was built up, Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler, we know, was robbed last night. Not last night, at Money in the Bank on Sunday. Last night he was robbed again. He was robbed again by AJ on Sunday and by AJ again tonight. Officially, Ziggler has begun his face turn. He is now on his way to being a full-fledged face. He dumped AJ in the process. He wants nothing to do with AJ anymore. AJ is no longer with Dolph Ziggler. Ziggler is on his own, which should be. He can get things done on his own. He doesn't need people like Vicky Guerrero. He doesn't need Big E Langston. He doesn't need AJ. He doesn't need any of that. Dolph Ziggler is one of the best wrestlers in the company. Now, last night, he had a match with Del Rio again, and like I said on Sunday in my review for Money in the Bank, these two work incredibly well together. I'm actually starting to enjoy this feud with Dolph Ziggler. Alberto Del Rio is getting the job done as a heel. I don't know what he's done right, but it was a minor tweak. He just looks impressive in the ring. He looks impressive. I'm not a big fan of Del Rio. I never was, but this feud with Ziggler is making me change my mind a little bit against Del Rio. He's doing the job. He's getting the job done. He's the World Heavyweight Champion. And like I said, whatever he's doing is working for him. Now, I thought he would be suffering without what's his name, Ricardo Rodriguez, but he's getting the job done without him, and Rodriguez should be back in 2 weeks. But like I said, Del Rio is doing the job. Now, obviously, AJ was so heartbroken over being dumped by Ziggler that she somehow snuck to the ringside area with a black hoodie on and rang the bell before the match even officially ended, which threw Ziggler off. His attention was all on AJ, was kicked in the head by Del Rio, and he was pinned 1, 2, 3. So AJ is now the psycho bitch once again because she's now heartbroken over being dumped by Ziggler. So she gets in the ring and starts slapping Ziggler all over the place, and down the aisle comes Big E Langston, just destroys Ziggler. Clothesline, and then all of a sudden he gets his finishing move on him. That is the start of the next feud now. Ziggler, I'm assuming, has to go through Big E Langston and defeat Big E Langston and then finally go on to defeat Del Rio. Now, you know what I like about this angle? I'm going to let you know what I like about this angle right now. Dolph Ziggler is money. Dolph Ziggler chasing the World Heavyweight Championship is money. Dolph Ziggler being screwed time and time again is money. Why do I say that's money? Because when he finally wins the World Heavyweight Championship, and we all know he is, it is going to be a spectacular moment. A face that has all the cards stacked against him and somehow comes out on top. And Ziggler is one of those characters now that he's developing into one of those sympathetic characters. Listen, he's going through all this bullshit. He's got AJ now. Dolph Ziggler has got AJ, Big E Langston, and now Alberto Del Rio to worry about. We're going to be invested as fans into this angle, and when he finally wins the World Heavyweight Championship, it's going to be a special moment. I can't, you know, I don't have the words for it, but WWE is doing the absolute right thing with Dolph Ziggler right now, and I commend them on that. Great fucking job by WWE Creative, and it's going to be fantastic when he finally gets that World Heavyweight Championship. But we got Brock Lesnar and CM Punk, and now it looks like Big E Langston versus Dolph Ziggler at SummerSlam. I don't know if they're going to involve Del Rio in a possible three-way there at SummerSlam, but we have to wait and see. But any one of the combination there, we're going to see a Del Rio Dolph Ziggler rematch at SummerSlam or Dolph Ziggler versus Big E Langston. We don't know. Either way works. Either way just makes that SummerSlam card a little bit better. The other thing that I was completely impressed about, Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt is the future of the WWE. That promo he cut last night was absolutely epic. The way he came down the aisle and watched Eric Rowan and Luke Harper destroy, what's his name? R-Truth. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So much better than the Kane attack last week. Bray Wyatt finally comes into the ring, and R-Truth is fighting. Grabs himself a steel chair to be the equalizer. Bray Wyatt standing in the ring with his arms out. You want this? I'm standing right here. R-Truth again gets destroyed. Bray Wyatt takes the microphone, and, you know, he mentioned Kane in the promo. Now, I want you guys to go back and watch that promo and listen to what he has to say. The words, he's another one of those guys, the words just roll off his tongue. You literally have to drop everything that you're doing to watch this man speak. He is the future of the WWE. That is the son of IRS. Okay? That is the son of IRS. So you know he's going to be a major player. IRS was one of my favorites growing up. Great gimmick, great wrestler. His son is going to follow suit, just like Curtis Axel is going to follow suit in the footsteps of Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig. Every time I hear Bray Wyatt's music, I just envision future WWE champion. The gimmick is working. The gimmick is fantastic. It's nothing that we've ever seen on WWE TV in a while, and I can honestly say it is the best gimmick in the last decade on WWE TV. I'm looking forward to seeing how they go into SummerSlam. What is going to happen with Kane? You know, all these reports about The Undertaker being out, I don't believe them. I honestly think Kane is going to grab The Undertaker. Listen, let's go to SummerSlam. Let's take care of the Wyatt family. That would make SummerSlam even more epic. I hope it happens. And after last night, I'm going to bet with that. I'm not going to bet against that. I do not believe these reports about The Undertaker being injured. I just don't. Other than that, guys, the final thing last night that happened, the major, turning point for SummerSlam. John Cena chose his opponent last night for SummerSlam. The crowd wanted it. You know the crowd was chanting his name all night. They were chanting his catchphrase all night, and it finally happened. Daniel Bryan is the new number one contender for the WWE Championship. Daniel Bryan versus John Cena is now officially, right now. Now, I don't know what's going to happen 3 weeks away from SummerSlam, but right now, that is your main event for SummerSlam. Daniel Bryan versus John Cena for the WWE Championship. The crowd has been chanting it all night. They knew they wanted Daniel Bryan. He's the only guy in that entire sea of superstars standing on the stage that I did not see. And I looked to my girlfriend, I'm like, you know who's missing from that stage, right? Daniel Bryan. So obviously, the WWE had Daniel Bryan in the back of their brains when, coming up with this segment. It's going to be a fantastic match. Daniel Bryan should defeat John Cena at SummerSlam for the WWE Championship, and it's going to be special. It is going to be special. I don't know where Randy Orton plays into all this, but He is the Money in the Bank briefcase holder. And, we may see a Daniel Bryan title win at SummerSlam. And all of a sudden, Randy Orton cashes in on Daniel Bryan for beating him those few times that they actually wrestled. We don't know. But Randy Orton, if Daniel Bryan, Randy Orton, and John Cena are all involved in the WWE Championship picture going forward to the rest of the year, I don't mind that. As long as we see some kind of new blood take control of that WWE Championship. Daniel Bryan is the right guy. He deserves it. He's the hottest superstar in the WWE right now. He completely deserves that belt. But last night, guys, SummerSlam is on its way to being a fantastic show. We had Cody Rhodes and Damien Sandow build towards their feud. They may be fighting at SummerSlam with the Money in the Bank briefcase on the line. We don't know yet. That has not been officially announced. But I do expect a Cody Rhodes face turn and a match with Damien Sandow at SummerSlam, which will definitely add to the undercard of SummerSlam. Chris Jericho fought Rob Van Dam last night in a classic match. The crowd was so quiet during this match, and it reminded me of the ECW old school crowds in Philadelphia at the ECW arena. They popped for everything that they did in the ring. 20 plus minutes of a 5-star match. You guys have to go watch that replay. It was definite old school between two great wrestlers. Rob Van Dam eventually got the win in a great back and forth match, trading off move after move, blow after blow. Rob Van Dam finally got the 5-star frog splash. In his return, 6 years ago, was the last time we seen him on Monday Night Raw. He gets the win over Chris Jericho. I commend Chris Jericho for putting Rob Van Dam over in his first match on Monday Night Raw in over 6 years. Great fucking match. Other than that, guys, we had Del Rio versus Dolph Ziggler. I told you guys about that. We had Damien Sandow versus Christian. Christian got the win there, which Cody Rhodes came out and interfered. Jack Swagger and Antonio Cesaro versus the Usos. The Usos got the win there. I still have to watch their match from the pre-show against The Shield. A lot of people telling me it's the tag team match of the year. So, the tag team division, can be pretty decent if the WWE invests some time into these teams. You got the Usos, you got the Real Americans, you got the Shield. They got some good stuff going on in the tag team division if they keep it up. You had Brie Bella versus Naomi. That was a waste of time. What else do we have? We had Rob Van Dam versus Chris Jericho. Definitely the best match of the night. And then, like I said, Daniel Bryan's the new number 1 contender for the WWE Championship. Great fucking show, guys. If you guys missed it, I definitely recommend finding the replay somewhere on YouTube. I know they replay it on the Universal Network, which is owned by the USA, all night on Saturday. They replay SmackDown and Monday Night Raw. I definitely advise you guys to go out and watch Monday Night Raw if you missed it this week. Great fucking show. Probably one of the best Raws of the year. Definitely in the top 3. That is my review, guys. Great show. I'll be back this week, as usual, Friday or Saturday with WWE News and Rumors. Until then, guys, I will definitely talk to you later. Take care. If you enjoyed the commentary, you guys know what to do. Subscribe. Hit that like button. I will be back later this week, guys. Take care. I'll talk to you all soon.